What up guys, JP back at you once again, bringing you guys another video. Today's video is day number 28 in my 7th annual 31 Days of Horror. Today's title is a film that I've never seen. It is a Wesley Craven film. It's one of the few that I've never seen. We're talking about 1985's Chiller. And this film is kind of known for two things. One, being bad, and two, being awfully transferred, I guess. Like, there's not a good transfer of this movie out there, it seems. I don't know if it's public domain, because it seems like every time I've seen a release of this, it's always by some company I never heard of. In fact, this company is called DVD Movie. So yeah, I don't know what the deal is with Chiller. It seems like it's kind of a forgotten film. Maybe people want to forget it, but either way, you never hear anybody talk about it. You never hear, any company talk about releasing it. So I don't know what's up with Chiller. It's kind of weird. But Chiller 1985 follows a man who was cryogenically frozen because the technology didn't exist to save his life back 10 years prior. In the future 10 years, his cryogenic tank malfunctions, so they rushed him to the hospital, now with the technology to save his life. So they save his life. He comes back, moves back in with his family, and like any film like this, we've seen it before. I think of 1974's Deathstream, the Bob Clark classic that involves that, and then there's other films where when sometimes dead is better, right? I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Some before, some after this film, but this is a TV movie version of that story, and it basically follows the mother, and the guy doing some bad stuff, and then the mother not really believing it, and then eventually kind of believing it. Has to stop her son. I'll say that this movie is nowhere near as bad as I expected going into it. The transfer is bad. It's worse than I expected going into it. It's just not a good transfer. I've never seen a good transfer of this film. I've poked around and looked at other places to watch it, and it seems like it's always the same transfer. But yeah, to me, this movie feels like a TV movie. It feels like an extended anthology series episode, like a Tales from the Dark Side or a Monsters or something. Like, if you like those shows and you just think that that's what this is, it's an extended version of that, I don't think this movie's as bad as people make it out to be, because I think if you just watched that episode, you'd be like, oh, that was, one of the more okay episodes or mediocre episodes, had some cool moments or whatever. But when you look at it as like a movie, and from Wes Craven a year after he directed Nightmare on Elm Street, I mean, yeah, wow, that's really weird. But yeah, I mean, some of the direction isn't bad. Like, some of the camera work and lighting that you can see is, decent. The ending is like really cheesy though. Like, they almost like sort of set it up for a sequel in a way, or even not really. I don't even think the intention was like, let's set this up so we can make a sequel. I think it was literally, like I said, like those, like in anthologies, like those sort of pop endings that you get. It really feels like this movie was a segment in an anthology extended. I don't know. It just has that feel. It's not very good, but it's not extremely bad either. I'm coming somewhere around like a 4 out of 10, but I didn't mind it. Like, I would watch it again under the right circumstance. So that's Wes Craven's Chiller for day number 28.